Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. We are live, and today I am Seth, and I do not have my usual co-host Carly. I got someone even better. Don't tell Carly I said that. Don't tell.
I don't
Someone
know about
just as good.
that.
The man who signs our paychecks. Our publisher Matt is here with us. Thank you, Matt, for filling in. We've been going through some co-hosts. We had Andy fill in. We had Ashley. It's good to see your face.
Thank you. It's you guys have been busy, you and Carly, media events after media events, and usually
Well,
the summer's usually not that busy, but this
yeah,
summer's been different. So
they're trying to kill us with all of it, and they're always outdoors. Yes, Carly. She is way more popular than.
whoop, Seth froze up. Let's see.
I just lost you there real briefly. I don't know if
Yeah,
that was you or me.
you froze up for me, but I don't know whose
Okay.
fault that was.
Well, I'm still here. You're still here. Let's hope that doesn't happen
We're
again.
good. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't.
It's not the actual podcast recording. This is just the pre-show. So things like that can happen. But before we jump into the main recording, let us say hello to some of our good friends. And as always, first up in the chat, Michael Bingham. Hello. He's given the big
Hey,
Peter
Michael.
Pan crow, and he's ready to go for today's episode. Thank you for joining us, Michael. Also, thank you, Blossom and Michelangelo, for checking in from Derico's Corner, as always. Kobe Wiggle is very excited for the Attractions Podcast. Welcome. And Brian Sager saying it was a super Sunday yesterday for the Euros in Berlin, Germany, and Copa de America, as it was like 87 and felt like the 90s final in Miami at the Hard Rock Stadium. And you can tell I am not much of a sports fan because I have no clue what Brian is talking about.
Me either.
I'm happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I got nothing. I'm assuming that was a football or soccer for you Americans, but I honestly don't. I can't tell you. All right. Well, we've got over 65 people already hanging out in the chat. So let's just go ahead and kick this thing off in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I am Seth.
And I'm Matt.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. And this week, my usual co-host Carly is off on another exciting adventure. So I am joined by our publisher, Matt. Welcome back. How have you been lately, and what have you been up to?
I've been doing well, been busy, of course, as all of us have. I saw you at the Country Bears event, which we'll talk about later. And I saw you, I think, at the Mega Movie Parade, which we already talked about.
Yep.
And I also had a media event out at, the Sunset Walk next to Margaritaville.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just kind of to show us some of the new locations that have opened in the resort. We started out at the Wharf and then which is like a big seafood restaurant there, and then we headed to Yeoman's Top Golf Swing Suite.
Okay.
And it has like one of those virtual, you stand inside a booth and you can swing a golf club and it hits the wall, and the video shows you like where your ball would have went.
That's honestly the only safe way for me to play golf.
So you can, I guess it's sponsored by Top Golf. So you can simulate actually being on a Top Golf course, or you can play zombie dodgeball. You can throw baseballs. You can throw footballs. You can have like all these different games you can choose from.
That might be more my speed.
It was pretty fun. And then we headed over to Lumberjack's Axe House, which is axe throwing. But they also showed off this.
You still got both hands? Still got both hands?
Yeah, that's totally good. And in addition to axe throwing, they do a lot of team building exercises there. So all the media members broke into two groups, and we did some things like tie a balloon to our legs and try to pop each other's balloons with our by stomping on them and throwing
Okay.
balls in the cups, and it was pretty fun. And then we ended the night with K-pot, which is like a Korean.
Oh yes, yes.
where you
They've
can
got
put-
one over by Universal.
Yeah, there's
yeah.
one over on Palm Parkway as well. This one is right in the Sunset Walk, and it was a lot of fun. You cook
Yeah.
meats on a grill or in a pot. So
Yep. Yeah, I really enjoy Korean
it's
barbecue.
good.
Awesome. Yeah, I have
What about you?
not been out to Sunset Walk since it first opened. I know they've had so many changes there over the years, so I got to get over there and check that out. I like you. I had a good time sweating at the very early morning Country Bear that we will talk about just a little bit. The Country Bear media event, also the media event for Universal's parade. I know I chatted a bit about that last week. Getting to see the parade again. Actually, we got to see it twice because it loops around. And I liked it better. I still think that, it's still a technical rehearsal. There's still some more floats. There's still some more work to be done.
Yep.
But I think they're making progress over in that one. And I guess the most important thing that I did this past week, other than celebrate my wife's birthday, happy birthday,
Happy
Genevieve.
birthday.
I attended a press conference for the Orlando Fringe and the Tampa Fringe. You might have heard, because it made international news, that our governor vetoed all arts funding for the entire state of Florida. Unprecedented in our state's history. We've always had some support for arts. Completely ended all arts funding because, as he claimed, because of the fringe festivals, which my wife works for and which I've been very involved in for years. A bunch of people who work for attractions have been involved in the so I'd just like to say that if you are a fan of live entertainment in the theme parks, please support things like the Fringe Festival and local nonprofit arts, because the artists who create, not just the performers in the parks, but the people writing the scripts, the people directing the shows, people who created, things in Harry Potter, things that are going into Epic Universe, the new parade that we talk about. All these things came from the minds of people who got their start in things like the Fringe Festival and low budget theater. Without that, we don't have the things that people pay hundreds of dollars to go to the theme park for. You can't have one without the other. So please do whatever you can to support local nonprofit arts.
Yeah, and
that's the end of my soapbox.
Well, I just wanted to throw in that just because it's called a fringe festival and it's on the fringe does not mean it's pornography. It's not. It's
Absolutely not. Yeah, there.
Things.
My wife for a long time ran the kids fringe, and they have puppet shows. They have interactive things for young kids. There's nothing sexual about that. There's nothing inappropriate about that. If you want to see burlesque or you want to see R-rated stand-up comedy, those kind of things are available there. But they've all, just like in a movie theater, if something's R-rated, not to bring your kid in there. It works just the same.
Right. Yep.
Festival. So anyway, I'll jump off of my soapbox and we can jump right into the news in the queue. All right, first up on news in the queue, we mentioned it earlier, both of us attended this week's media event for the preview of the new Country Bear Musical Jamboree, opening up to guests in the parks as of the 17th. So that's this week. We have on our website, not necessarily on our YouTube channel because we got a copyright strike, but you can go to our website and watch a full video of the complete show with all of the new songs, including the new Country Bear Musical Jamboree theme song, a new original song written just for the show. Try Everything from Zootopia, and that is with Oh, you got to interview her, the lovely artist who recorded that song.
Yes, I'm Emily Ann something.
Yes.
Yes.
We're both terrible with names. It happens when you get old, sorry. Uh, but that was a song that you can't hear on the version uploaded. I had to mute that for copyright reasons, but you can hear that on the full version on our website, along with all of the other. What did you think of the song list? I had heard, what a couple of them were. They released Bare Necessities ahead of time, but I wasn't totally sure what all the songs were. What did you think of the set list?
I thought they did a really good job of picking the appropriate song for
Mhm.
the appropriate part of the show where they were talking about, the Remember Me instead of Blood
Mhm.
on the Saddle was a good one. That was something you weren't expecting. And you're like, oh, it's, it's kind of sad. And he's a sad character. I don't know. I just thought they did a good job
I
placing the songs and picking them.
That was going to be my pick for the thing that was just like the perfect parallel. I was wondering how, there's some very non-Disney songs in the old version, like Blood on the Saddle, like All the Guys Who Turned Me On, Turned Me Down. And I think that they did a good job of picking Disney songs that had like either an emotional parallel or a tonal relationship to the old song. And especially, they start off Remember Me from Coco with those kind of out-of-tune guitar notes, very similar to the opening of Blood on the Saddle, and creates
Yeah.
that immediate connection with the old show. And seeing Big Al crying over Remember Me, because that is a song. Every time that comes out, they use it in the fireworks out at Disneyland and stuff. And every time that comes up, I'm just like, oh, the tears are coming. So I thought that was a really
And
smart
and
smart
and I
choice.
think the Try Anything was a good replacement for the guys that
Yes.
Turn Me On, Turn Me Down. Just
Yes.
because up on the screen really big is Trixie tries anything. And it's like
Yes.
kids won't get that, but
Oh, and I loved that they kind of combined Trixie with Bonnie, Beulah, and Bubbles. They sort of, it used to be that each each bear basically had a solo, but I like the way that they kind of integrated them. So you've got a lead and then backup singers,
Mm,
bringing more characters, more movement, also bringing in the heads on the wall as backup
yeah.
singers or commentary into a lot of the scenes, made it much more immersive.
I liked that the guys on the wall talked a lot more. It seemed
Yeah.
like to me and they sang along in some of the
Yep.
songs as well. I
Yep.
really liked that.
And then I was also really happy to see that even though all the other music has changed out, they kept "Come Again," the finale music that you walk out to, because
Mm,
it gives you such a great feeling walking out of the theater. But if you can, stick around and kind of linger and watch the very little last bit that the heads on the wall do as they go to sleep at the end. It's really cute.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, the original show debuted back in 1971. Hopefully we'll get 50 years of this new show. Like I said, watch this complete video on our website and check out the new attraction open to guests starting the 17th. Okay, in other Disney news, this just broke on the 14th over the weekend. I think the two of us might head over there this evening and test it out for ourselves. Disney is now testing a new single rider option for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. And this might be either a great way to skip the line or a really terrible way to ruin the experience for you
Yes,
yourself if
yes.
it's your first time. So, yeah, Rise of the Resistance opened back in 2019 at Walt Disney World. Still one of the park's most popular rides. If you pay for an individual Lightning Lane, you're going to be paying like $20 or up if it's a busy season just for that one ride because it's not part of the multi-pass. So it's, seeing this ride without a long wait can be a challenge. So single rider is your new option. But here's the catch. Rise of the Resistance is not just a ride. It is a multi-level experience with multiple pre-shows, sort of a pre-simulator, a walkthrough experience. And if you go for the single rider option, you are going to miss all of that preliminary stuff. You're going to get through what is apparently a not at all themed backstage hallway, and you're basically going to pop in right at the jail cell, the interrogation scene right before you get on the final
hangar
ride.
bay, yeah.
Yeah. So you won't get to see the hologram of Ray and the animatronic of BB-8. You won't get to ride the shuttlecraft and have that great moment of coming out of that shuttle. You get to skip all that, but you will significantly shorten your time getting to the final ride.
Yeah, I love the idea of this for people who've ridden it before and like myself and want to do it again. I almost feel like they need to put some kind of fine print on the sign that the guy's holding that says you will skip the first two pre-shows or however they want to word it, because you do get one pre-show with Kylo and Hux up above, but the interrogation room, but everything else you're pretty much skipping. You do get to see the stormtroopers, but the way you get there is so amazing the first time you ride it. Even the first few times you ride it, that I think they are going to get some people upset. Like, wait, what? I missed. I rode that when I was down there, but I didn't see that. You know?
Yeah, I agree. It's one of my favorite rides, and I don't wait for anything. I have very little patience for standing in queues these days. But I think that especially if this is your first time experiencing this, it's worth standing an hour in line for. Because it's not just a 5-minute ride. It's a 20-minute. Once you enter the first pre-show area, you're looking at almost a full 20 minutes of entertainment before you get out. So I think that's a fair ratio of wait to entertainment. But for someone who's been through it a whole bunch of times and just wants to see if Kylo Ren happens to be in B mode today, then I think this would be awesome. I almost wish that it could be like a secret thing that they don't tell you about until you've ridden it once, and then they're like, okay, if you want to ride a second time, here's the single rider shortcut.
And I think this is a test, so it may stick around, it may not. And I haven't heard that it's happening in Disneyland. So somebody told me that Disneyland doesn't have the same hallway to be able to access this area. I don't know.
The layout of the queue, the exterior of it is slightly different. So I'm trying to think in Disneyland if it would be possible to access that same area as directly. And I think that the layout of the queue would make that more complicated.
But I think if this becomes permanent and not a test, I would really hope they'll theme that hallway that you have to walk through to get to it, and maybe make some kind of story about it. Like, oh, we're going to meet up with the rebels inside. Let's go this way.
Yeah, we're the backup. We're the the SWAT team.
The whole part of the whole thing you're missing is you're going to space. You're getting in a spaceship.
Exactly.
So now all of a sudden you're already on a space station. I don't know.
Unfortunately, unlike Star Trek, Star Wars does not have teleporters. Does not have
beam you up there.
Yeah, beam me up, Scotty. Oh darn, wrong franchise. We'll check it out for you. We'll report on it, and keep an eye on our website if there are any updates. Okay, and hey, while we're at it, let's talk Disney Cruise Line. We know that Disney is planning on spending about $60 billion, and they have told us that they were earmarking a good chunk of that for Disney Cruise Line. Now we know some of that money is going into a 9th cruise ship that is going to be sailing out of Tokyo for the first time starting in 2029. I do not know that Japan has the same kind of cruising culture that America has, and it looks like Disney is going to try to establish it, because they obviously have a very loyal fan base from Tokyo Disneyland, and they're going to try to extend that to sea with a ship that looks to be a close cousin of the Disney Wish, saying that they are going to bring many of the fan favorite experiences from the Disney Wish, but with some new tweaks and updates, which are still to be determined.
When I first heard this, I was like, oh, Oriental Land Company, who does Tokyo Disney, they put everything into the details are amazing. The ship's going to be so much better than the others. But then the next line is, oh, we're copying, the Wish and bringing some of the same experiences. Well, I think they will plus it, and it'll be like, oh, why didn't we have this on ours? It's not something that I feel like, oh, I got to rush out and get on this ship,
Yeah. Keep in mind that when the Oriental Land Company says that we are copying and bringing over fan favorite things, what we end up is Tokyo Disneyland, which is basically the best versions of, Disney Worlds and Disneyland's classic rides, all brought over and plussed and then maintained. That's the big difference I feel with Oriental Land Company. Disney's great at building stuff. Oriental Land Company seems to be great at maintaining it, and both the mechanical and aesthetic standards, and also the guest service standards. So I always feel like when I'm on a Disney ship, I'm getting the guest service that I used to get at Disney World back in the 80s and the 90s. That is maybe not necessarily like that in the parks anymore. So to see what Oriental Land Company would do with that type of guest service, that's very exciting. But I don't think it's going to be made for us. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to be interested in us Americans coming over. This is definitely going to be Japanese first. That's
Yeah,
my
it
sense.
said they would have some tweaks for the Japanese market, whatever
Yep.
that means. So, but I think we're just going to have to wait for more info on this to really know if this is something worth traveling over there and doing, or just skipping when you're in Japan.
Yeah. Well, I know for me planning my Japan trip right now, there is so much stuff that I want to do over there. I don't know if I need another option added on,
Right,
'cause
right.
I can't fit it all into the time I've got.
And,
But
and, and this is different than the what is it, the Adventure coming to Singapore,
correct.
because that's not Oriental Land Company, but it is
No.
Disney, and it's going to be a completely different layout.
Yeah, and
building
that's
ship
a massive that's a
Yeah,
massive
huge.
ship that
Yeah,
wasn't initially designed by Disney. It was a bankrupt company
right.
started it, and Disney kind of took it over at a bargain rate. The ship that is going to be sailing out of Tokyo, it, as we said, similar in size and scope to the Disney Wish. The only stats we really have right now is that it will have 1,250 staterooms and a crew of 1,500 cast members. So that is impressive, of more than one employee for each stateroom. And this is just part of the 3 additional ships. As you mentioned, the Treasure is coming, Disney Adventure, and Disney Destiny. So when this new Tokyo ship comes online, that will make a total of 9 ships in the fleet. It's amazing how quickly that has grown in just the last few years.
Yep.
Yep. All right. And if you want more information about the cruise line or the new Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, we've got lots of information on our website.
And we should mention this Japanese ship is not coming till 2029. So
2029, fiscal year 2028, which generally means actually 2029 calendar year. Mouse Fan Travel, whichever cruise ship you want to get on, they will help you get there.
Yep.
All right, we are turning finally away from Disney and hopping over to Universal, where we've got some more Halloween Horror Nights announcements. First of all, we've got another IP house. Insidious is coming to both Halloween Horror Nights in Florida and in California this year. Insidious The Further is going to be in Orlando starting on August 30th, and in California starting September 5th. And this is based on the Insidious films, where you're going to follow in the footsteps of the Lamberts, encountering familiar settings and scares as you're transported directly into the Further, which is the ethereal place where ghosts and demons lurk. In the films, guests will quickly learn that the paranormal creatures are here to stay. And they put out a great little teaser trailer that's got a very Black Swan vibe. Shout out to my friend Rachel, who plays the ballerina in that ad. Great job. Now I know why she was taking some adult ballet lessons recently. So yeah, this is Blumhouse has been part of the Halloween Horror Nights for a few years now. They've had some mashup houses where they've combined a couple of their titles. I think this is the first time they've done a house in Orlando just dedicated to Insidious, though, right?
No, I don't
Or
think
did they have
so.
an Insidious, a dedicated Insidious house before?
Yeah, they did, and it's
Okay.
in the story there somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah, the
you think I would
history.
read these stories? Oh, yeah, if I actually scrolled down a little. Well, Insidious, okay, Return to the Further, that was in Orlando in 2015. Oh, 2015 was before the pandemic. Everything that happened before the pandemic, my brain just hit a reset button. I can't tell you
That's it.
anything before 2019. No.
And I don't remember I mean, I read that in our article that Blake wrote,
Yeah.
it's a good article, but I don't even remember
And
going through the
Holly,
house, and I filmed it. So
and yeah, I'm a little confused because the article says that the Hollywood version was 2017, but the video says that it was 2015.
oh yeah,
So
I see
I
where
mean,
you're
I
going with
honestly,
something
once
there.
you enter into the further, all sense of time and space is just,
Yeah,
wiped away. It,
exactly.
it could be 10 years ago. It could be 10 years from now. Who knows?
I'll fix that typo as soon as we hang up here.
So this is joining now. We now, I believe, have 9 out of the 10 haunted houses officially announced for Florida. To recap real quick, Slaughter Cinema 2, Goblin's Feast, Major Sweets Candy Factory, The Museum Deadly Exhibits, Monstros, The Monsters of Latin America, Triplets of Terror, A Quiet Place, and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, previously announced for Florida. California, they've only got announced so far Quiet Place, Dead Exposure, Death Valley, Monstros 2, and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. So still a bunch left to announce for California. I think the odds are favorite for the final house to be announced in Florida is Universal Classic Monsters, possibly headlined by The Bride. But we will see about that. We also just not long ago, an hour and a half ago, got this tweet from the official Halloween Horror Nights account. I'm sorry, not a tweet, an X. Letting us all know the first Scare Zone announcement. The first Scare Zone unveiled for Orlando this year is called Torture Fair, and that's spelled F-A-I-R-E.
Like a Ren Fair.
Yes, exactly. The description is come one, come all to the Renaissance Fair. Brave the gloriously gory medieval torture devices till you're put out of your misery.
Such
If
fun.
you have ever participated in a Ren Fair or Ren Fest or worked for one or watched the HBO documentary that is out recently about Texas Ren Fair, you know that this is a topic that is very ripe for Halloween Horror Nights. I'm almost surprised it took them so long to get here.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm excited to see what they come up with for this.
Yeah, the chainmail and all of the
Yep.
things that people wear at the
Yep.
Ren Fairs fits right in with
Oh,
this. So that'd be
I
exciting.
expect to see someone being stretched on a rack
Yeah.
and someone eating a giant turkey leg because you can't go to a Ren Fair without a giant turkey leg. Yes, Halloween Horror Nights. And by the way, I don't think we have it mentioned here in an article, but the highly anticipated Frequent Fear passes, including the Rush of Fear and Frequent Fear Ultimate, all went on sale, and the versions that include express passes went like that. I don't know if they sold a lot fewer of them this year or if they just were even more popular, but prices went up to the point where I believe a Frequent Fear Ultimate with Express broke the $1,000 level.
That's crazy.
This year. So we are talking more than I pay for a top line annual pass to the park year round.
Wow.
For just the Halloween season.
That's crazy.
I am hoping this means that there will be a lot fewer folks with the Frequent Fear with Express this year, which will make the standby lines shorter, and also the Express. It's gotten to the point where the Express lines were maybe half of the regular wait, or a little less than that, but not the 10% of the regular weight like they are
And,
during the day.
and if this
So
pass is something that you were wanting to get and didn't because it's sold out or it's too expensive, unfortunately, it's selling out so quick. It's
yeah,
just telling Universal we need to charge more next year.
it's supply and demand, exactly.
Crazy,
But they did say that more could be released.
right? Yeah,
It's possible. You can buy it without the Express. And to be honest, I would say that um, if you are buying one of these frequent fear passes, the best way to do the event is in small doses. Come in, get in early, do one or two houses and leave, or like show up really late and just be there for the last hour. If you've got the frequent fear, don't it's I remember back in the day I used to do the frequent fear and I would be there every event night, and by the end of the season I had shin splints, I had bad ankles, I had all sorts. You can ruin your health attending Halloween Horror Nights too much, so
but
be
yeah,
careful.
but like you said, in small doses, so you can come in once and do
Exactly,
two of the houses, and then
small
next time
bites.
you come in, do two different
Yeah,
houses,
don't feel the
and
need to do
you'll
all
get them
10
all. Yeah,
every single night. Yeah,
yeah.
don't do that to yourself. Okay, well, that just about brings us to the end of this week's news in the queue. Before we jump into the main attraction, it's time to hear a word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction.
And for this week's main attraction, we're heading out to the Anaheim Convention Center, where we have just gotten a breakdown of some of the exciting things that are going to be unveiled during the D23 Ultimate Disney Fan Event coming up very soon.
Less than a month.
Less than a month away. Have you got your tickets? Are you going in person this year?
I am got my hotel and I got my flights, and I'm hoping for a media ticket. I haven't.
Oh no! It'll be a
That's
long way to go to just stand
anybody.
outside the convention center.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I
Yeah.
hope that they hook you up. For those of you who do have your tickets, you probably already know that the big panel that everyone is excited about is taking place on August 10th at 7 p.m. This time they are inside the Honda Center. In past years, it's been at the Anaheim Convention Center. But this time, with over 12,000 fans, they are taking over the nearby sports stadium for the big Horizons presentation. This is the Disney Experiences Showcase being hosted by Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Disney Experiences. And this is what we usually call the Parks panel. This is where we get to hear all the blue sky plans about all the concept art, all the ambitious ideas for things that may or may not eventually get built inside the theme parks. They've got $60 billion to spend, as we've talked before, about the turbocharged investment that they are planning on making over the next decade. And hopefully we will get hints, or more than just hints, about where that money is going to be going.
And I hope that we don't get hints of here's what we may be able to do there. I
Yes.
hope they'd say here's what we're going to do there.
Yeah.
And not they've in the past couple of events they've done this. We might do this, and then people get all excited, and they're like, "Oh, well, actually, we're not going to do that." So
It's a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, you don't want to get people so excited about something coming a couple of years down the road that they decide to delay their current vacation plans. They want people coming now
right,
and coming later.
yeah,
So you can't make it seem like the future is so exciting that you shouldn't bother going this year.
right,
On the other hand, you also don't want to throw out these ideas that people latch onto and get excited about that end up never materializing. And going back to the Eisner years, the so-called Disney decade of the 90s, we were supposed to get Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers and Roger Rabbit's Toontown at Disney MGM Studios, and all these ambitious ideas over the years that have, not just been rumors, but actual things presented with concept art officially announced. We could talk a lot about some of the projects for Epcot that were definitively announced as happening and then quietly just wiped out of history without another mention.
We have a story on our website that just lists all the things that Disney has announced over the years and never happened.
Yeah.
And
So
they're worse at doing that than any other theme park company. But
Universal learned that lesson by not announcing anything until it's already been
built.
Yeah. It's done. People are riding it. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Now we're going to announce it.
Yeah, just about.
So, but it's still exciting to hear about the possibilities. Just don't hug them too closely in case they just vanish into thin air. So in the artwork for this, we've got some little teases and hints, and it looks like if this artwork is to be believed, this Horizons showcase is going to span the entire breadth of Disney's properties, because we've got references to all 6 castles from all of the parks around the world, plus all of the Animal Kingdom, California Adventure, Hollywood Studios is in there. We've got a reference to Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris, cruise line ships, and even a little hint of Big Thunder Mountain, which we've been hearing lots of rumors that Big Thunder Mountain here in Walt Disney World is in for a big change.
Not necessarily Big Thunder Mountain, but what's behind
and everything. But yes, exactly.
So a new land that they would build behind it.
Yep. And curiously, they used a color scheme very similar to Luminos, the Symphony of Us, which is Epcot's current nighttime spectacular. So let's speculate a little. Here are some things that they have talked about in the past that we think could be discussed in more detail, hopefully, more specificity at the upcoming convention. For Walt Disney World, obviously, we've got the replacement of Dinoland USA and Animal Kingdom with the Tropical Americas, which would be, we believe, Encanto and Indiana Jones. Avatar Land coming to Disneyland, and the rest of the Disneyland Forward project. What is going on with this Avengers multiverse ride that is not, we haven't seen any movement on. The makeover of Walt Disney Studios Park, which is getting turned into Disney Adventure World with a new Frozen Land. Obviously, the cruise ships that we've talked about. Tokyo Disneyland is giving their Space Mountain an extreme makeover. It looks like it's going to come out looking a little bit more like Tron. What's going on with Test Track at Epcot? Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters at Disneyland is getting a Wreck-It Ralph layover. Zootopia is taking over It's Tough to Be a Bug. The Poly is getting a new, very corporate-looking hotel wing. And a new Little Mermaid show is opening soon, hopefully, at Hollywood Studios. That's just the stuff we know about.
Right.
And, of course, there'll probably be some blue sky teases out of the blue.
I think it's going to be a long panel.
I think it is either going to be a very long panel, or it's going to just, all these little blips that like we have to freeze frame and analyze, one piece of concept art for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
The big question is, who is going to be able to get to see this? I have been so happy that the last couple of years when they've been doing the smaller destination D23 events here, I went to one in person and then discovered it's a lot more fun sitting at home and watching them on your couch on the live stream. We don't know yet if there's going to be a live stream on this D23. I really hope so.
And all the ones in the past, we've been able to fully film. So if that continues, we will put up a full video of it afterwards. I don't know how quickly afterwards, just because of the connection there and the connection in the hotel and all that. But we will get it up in full if we can.
Thoughts and prayers for the Wi-Fi in the Honda Center, because it's going to go down hard, I'm sure.
But and they have asked us in the past not to live stream it. So regardless if they do or they don't, we probably will not. But we don't know any of those details yet.
Yeah, but I'm sure within hours of it, all the information
Out. Though they themselves will be tweeting it and posting Disney Parks blog posts as soon as they announce it. And we will also be doing stories as soon as we can get the press release and the information written up as well. So check our website and our socials.
And of course, this Horizons panel is just a small part of everything going on through the D23 weekend. The whole schedule has been revealed. We've got a link to it on our website. Both the daytime events at the Anaheim Convention Center and the nighttime events at the Honda Center. They've got a big showcase for media. If you're interested in movies and television, there'll be a big presentation on that. And my sentimental favorite, the Disney Legends induction ceremony this year is going to include John Williams. Hopefully he is healthy enough to appear. Angela Bassett, Harrison Ford, James Cameron, some real heavy hitters. I'm very jealous of anyone who gets to be in the room when that happens.
And then just a note that one year when they announced Galaxy's Edge, it wasn't in the parks panel. It was part of the movie presentation.
Oh, that's right.
So that was a surprise to all of us theme park reporters who weren't in the movie presentation.
Oops, missed that.
So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But just know that just because information you wanted to hear or didn't come out of the parks panel, it could come out later that day. It could be on the show floor. It could be, who knows?
Yep. Who knows? Well, you will know if you keep following us on socials and check in with our website, because we will have all the information for you as soon as it breaks. And that just about brings us to the end of the news. So let's take back a look at some of the comments that we got while we were chatting away. Rosie Mayer checked in to say they love Disney their entire childhood. You feel like Winnie the Pooh is your dude. I feel you. I feel you. Michael Bingham is definitely excited to see that new Country Bears Musical Jamboree next month. Congratulations on finally getting yourself some Disney World passes, and let us know how that single rider line at Rise of the Resistance comes out for you. Vincent Lai just wants to say cool. And Vince Lamb is here to say happy Monday to us. Waiting our tea on D23. We spilled everything we had. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll let Michael Bingham have the last word. Go Anaheim Ducks, go. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you once again to our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I want to remind all of you to please give us a rating and review, whether you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever. If you're watching us on YouTube on the live stream, give us a like and a subscribe. And please be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com. Search Attractions Magazine on all your favorite social media platforms. Matt, where can folks follow you on the socials?
You can find me at Attractions Matt on X and Instagram, and also posting on all the attractions channels as well.
And you can always find me at Eskabursky at The Unofficial Guides, and pick up new copies of my books at theunofficialguides.com. And until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. We will see you again next time. Bye.